for the 5th year interim report to SACS about our fast QET. So that's pretty straightforward, and what we're doing. And like I said yesterday, the faculty qualification form listing all of your names, every class that you taught, and how you are qualified to teach that has to be submitted to SACS. Any questions about this work that this team is going to be very, very, very involved in? Yes, ma'am.
I had a question a couple years ago at our meeting, and I asked Pete how many people had been caught cheating using BioSig. You know what the answer was?
What?
None.
None. Now,
I think that's a problem.
BioSig isn't really there to catch cheating. It's there to catch people trying to log in that aren't them. So it'd be like if you have your password locked out because you put it in too many times incorrectly. That's what BioSig's intent is, right, Angela? Yeah, it's not necessarily to catch someone cheating on a test, because the only way to do that is proctoring. But BioSig at least will help to deter people from saying, enrolling in a class and then having someone else do the work for them and take the tests for them. Believe me, students are very resourceful. I was very surprised at my previous institution where we did have proctoring for all online, and what it was it recorded students' activity while they were testing via a video camera, and the student logged in, because we used BioSig at my previous institution, used BioSig, logged in, went to do their test, did their little BioSig thing, then gave control of their computer to someone in another country to actually take the test for them. The only way we found that out is because a pop-up screen was recorded, came up. Do you wish to continue remote something of your computer, remote use of your computer? Well, that told the faculty member that was reviewing that video that someone else was remote into their computer and doing it for them. And the whole time the video camera was on the student was sitting there. And this pop-up screen came up.
Can we get that?
The institution has said that we do not proctor. So that's an institutional policy. But so students are very creative. So there's, even with BioSig, there's ways these students will get around it. But the best we can do right now is using BioSig. Any other questions? I'm sorry it was so boring. Now you're going to get the fun stuff.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So I am Stephanie Roberts, Dean of Institutional Accountability and Curriculum Support. And my team over here consists of 2 departments, the Instructional Services Department and the Institutional Effectiveness Department. And I think all of you at some point in time have come across their paths or worked with them in some capacity. So what we'd like to do today is briefly provide you with a couple of updates of some things that are happening in those 2 areas. So rather than have me blather on about it, I'm going to ask my 2 directors to come up. I'm going to start with Dr. Jennifer Cameron, and she's going to come up and give you a little just brief update on what's happening in IE. And then Director Felicia Robinson is going to come up and give you a little brief update on what's going on in instructional services, because there are some new things that are happening. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about SharePoint and how we've been using that and doing some new and interesting things. And I think they're going to make things a lot easier for all of you to access our information, engage with us, and move some of these processes forward. So, Dr. Cameron, would you please?
I have a few reminders this year. Just want to let you all know that we're going to be moving into a new cycle. Of course, 1920, and also for the ones that have entered plans for 1819. If you need any assistance with uploading those or any of your deliverables, please contact extension 1154 so that I can guide you and we can make sure that we close that cycle and move on to our new one. Where do I get the data I need? Right now, we're working on e-form. You will receive notification regarding data requests. So in doing so, you would have to go through, fill out an e-form. It's complete. It's just a matter of we have to refine it because I brought it to our CAPER team and they made some suggestions. So it will go live soon, and I will let you all know. And we can assist you with getting information such as graduation rates, retention for your programs. Also, we're going to do a diversity report where we're going to look at the institution as a whole to look at, underrepresented groups from enrollment, retention, graduation of minorities. Also, I will be providing workshops, and this could be a matter of assessment practices, making data-informed decisions, because a lot of times when you get your data, one of the things it goes beyond numbers. So you want to look at ways of improving your programs, or if you're recruiting the right type of students. Also, I will do a institutional effectiveness one-on-one on what we provide, what services we provide. Again, the whole data request and just looking at those things.
Good morning. My name is Felicia Robinson, and I'm the Director of Instructional Program Support Services. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things that's going on in my area over the past couple of months. As you all were told, I think yesterday, the catalog has gone to once per academic year. So that means we have to be even more, we have to ensure that the information within the catalog is correct. So that not only includes your actual programs, but that also includes your course description and your prerequisites as well. So to help you all with the prerequisites, what my area has done or is doing, we have run a report in colleague. The report tells us what all the prerequisites are. So then we did a manual comparison of the report from colleague and the catalog to find any discrepancies. So we have found some discrepancies, so we will contact those appropriate departments to find out which one is correct, the catalog or colleague. Sarah NC. CTC is a member of Sarah NC, and you can see what the acronym pretty much stands for. So CTC has been a member of Sarah for years now. And as a member, one of the things that we have to do is report our distance education students. So previously, we didn't have to ask you for any information. Our data analyst, Doug, he would do what he does in the background, provide the information, and submit it to Sarah NC. With this year, the reporting criteria for Sarah NC changed. It was, some criteria was added. And one of those things was out-of-state learning placements. So if you had any clinical rotations, internships, student teaching, we contacted departments to find out, are any of those students completing those courses outside of the state of Texas? Now that information does not live in colleagues. So since it doesn't live in colleagues, I had to reach out to you, the departments. So moving forward, that will be a reporting criteria with Sarah. So my suggestion or my recommendation for those departments that this may affect, to establish some type of tracking system within your areas. Because next year, May, June timeframe, you're gonna get another email from me asking for that particular information. In collaboration with DEEPS, we were asked to combine the textbook request and update form and the course development revision maintenance request form. That's DEEPS form. So we did. The form is now available. It is an e-form, so it is available in eTree, and you can find it under IAC, which is our tab in eTree. Since the form is combined, submitted, it would go to Leslie, who handles all our instructional materials, and then the form will also go to the appropriate DEEPS representative. So Leslie would do whatever she needs to do with the form if you have a textbook request, and then DEEPS would do whatever that they need to do with the form if you have any revisions or developments with your particular courses.
update. That is so stimulating. I moved. I'm excited about it. I'll tell you, the work that we do is not the most glamorous. It doesn't sound that fancy or anything, but it's good work. I mean, it's like, it's one of those things where people ask what you do and you try to explain it and they go, okay, well, great, good job. And they just kind of move on, so. But I will tell you that the one thing that both of these areas have been doing is working hard to keep us on track, keep us on task, and to find more innovative ways to do what we need to do and to try to take some of the pressure off of you. So we are trying. We're doing what we can. One of the things I want to show you is how we've been utilizing SharePoint to kind of help with that. I know you guys did a game where you were kind of asked to figure out how to find things online, and Dean Anderson said you did that yesterday, so now I'm in the clear and I can actually show you where to find this. So on the CTC faculty and staff page on the website, when you go there, if you hover here and you click on Info Technology, it'll bring you to the Information Technology page, and they have a link here called the SharePoint portal list. When you click on that, it should take you to a list of all the currently active SharePoint pages that different departments on campus are using. One of the things that most recently occurred in the last few months is that IT managed to do a workaround that now allows you to access SharePoint. If you are approved for access to certain pages, you can access it off-site, so you don't have to be here on campus or on a server-based computer to access these things. Some of you have access to different SharePoint pages for different reasons, and some of you don't. It just depends on what capacity you're working in. So for us, Institutional Accountability and Curriculum Support has a link here. A box will pop up, and what you put in here is your login that you use just to log in on your desktop. Give me a second. And it will change along with the password that changes when you change your login every day on your desktop. And once you do that, you'll get access to the page. So this is our Institutional Accountability Curriculum Support SharePoint page, our landing page. And we actually gave everyone in CTC, at CTC who has a CTC login access to this page. So when you go the way we showed you and you log in there, you should be able to come to this page. Depending on what you do as a department chair, program coordinator, if you're on any of the committees, you'll be able to access a lot of the information that we work with on a regular basis. This is still a work in progress, but the great thing about this is that it gives us a lot more flexibility than our website does. There are a lot of things that we can do because it is intranet, so we're not beholden to a lot of the sort of rules or regulations that we might be stuck behind when it comes to using Mira. So on Mira, a lot of PDFs and files and documents and things like that, but on SharePoint, we can actually do some things to make it a little more interesting, a little more interactive. This top row here on our landing page pretty much has, and again, because SharePoint is a work in progress, we do have PDFs and things up here that you can access. We most recently had a company come as part of the Chancellor's 5-year facilities plan, and they did a community-wide assessment of the college. And so we put their information up here. If you click on this one, you can actually see their sort of snapshot of the information that they gathered about the institution, the programs where our students come from, who they are, the high schools that we serve. There's a lot of information on this little sheet here. And the complete document is actually over here. And all you have to do is click on that and it'll actually download the complete PDF for you. A lot of great information in there that can help you if you're looking to advance some things or move some things in your department, if you're looking for more detailed demographic information, diversity information. Other things that you'll find here on this top row is, of course, a PDF of our strategic plan, our current strategic plan. Our current QuickBooks, Quick Facts book that our IE department puts together will come up here, and this is updated quarterly, and so you'll see some of the basic information, enrollment data, top degrees that are listed for that time period, cost, degrees conferred, persistence rates, graduation rates, those types of things. And this gets updated, and because it is done as a PDF, we do have to kind of do it manually. The great thing about SharePoint is that as we're learning this, we're discovering that there are going to be more interactive ways for us to do things where we'll be able to eventually put this data up live and every time we make a change, automatically have it update for you here on SharePoint. The great thing about SharePoint is that it's actually an excellent communication tool as well. We can share projects. We can all work on a PowerPoint or an Excel spreadsheet, and right from where you are, you can log in and make changes or updates. It's a great place to store your files as well. So a lot of our files and information about committees or meetings or any of those types of things. It also has some social tools as well. So there's a blog tool, there's a calendar, there's a task app that allows you to assign tasks to different people in your department and to track those tasks and to see where they are. And if someone's assigned a task, when they go in, they can actually go in and basically check where they are. It's still in progress, it's completed, those types of things, and everyone who has access can see it. It's an excellent tool to use, and we're really just kind of getting to the surface of it. It's not the most intuitive thing in the world, but it is providing us with an opportunity to basically provide for you all of the things that we do in a more easy to access and user-friendly way. This bottom row has more of our sub-sites, and so Doug Bucell in the IR area does a lot of reports and data for a lot of different reasons. He's always getting data requests to pull data for the administration, for you and your departments, for service departments, and so a lot of that data is being posted here on his research page. So here you'll see his ad hoc requests, surveys that have been done, training materials, financial aid awards, iPEDS report data. All of these things are here and able and available for you to access. There's also a data request process that's built into SharePoint. We're still working on that one, so we're going to be using an e-form until we can get this process set up. But once this is set up the right way, you'll be able to go in here and simply make a data request, and it will actually track, and Doug will be able to see it, go in and tell you the status of your report, where it is, do updates, all those types of things. You'll be able to see that live. So any data that you're looking to get on your students or your programs, we'll be able to provide that here for you. Additional data is on here, benchmarking data, pathways data, the CTC master plan, and on and on and on. The great thing about SharePoint is that it is basically files that you can drag and drop and update in here, and then create little fun icons or things like that that you want to create to make it more user-friendly for people who are utilizing it. The IE department also has a page, and Jennifer already spoke with you about what they're working on, but a lot of the training materials for program reviews are here. A lot of the task stream quick start guides and all of those things that are going on that we've been working with department chairs and coordinators on is available here. So if you forget or you need more guidance, it's easily accessible here for you. Pathways, we've already talked about that. Dr. Garrett talked to you about SAC-COC and the fifth-year report. We created a SAC-COC fifth-year report page is here as well. We have information about the fifth-year report, all of the guides and materials for it, all of the current principles, all the requirements are all here in the top row. SAC-COC general information is here, as well as links to SAC-COC page about the fifth-year report. So if you are contacted and asked to provide something because we're working on one of the principles, that information will be available here. And to provide that information that we're going to request from you, all you simply have to do is log in here and identify the folder that it'll be listed for you under, and then just drag and drop your material right here into the folder, and we automatically have it. So again, SharePoint is a much cleaner, easier way to share information, to track information, to document and highlight information and make it available to you. There's so much more, but I'm not going to go into all of those things. A lot of you worked on strategic planning with us last year, and were a part of several committees, and those committees did some great work. And again, I want to thank you again for all of the amazing work that you did, because we were on a time crunch and we got together and a large group of people did some amazing work in a short period of time. And all of your work and information is right here on the SharePoint strategic planning page. So everything from the initial outreach letter that went out to the committee members, to all of the work that the committees did, the minutes, the agenda, the outcomes, the reports, all of it is here and available for you to look at, to take a look at, to review, to go through. The survey data, all of it is here. The great thing about this is that when what Dr. Garrett calls the POPO show up, and they ask us, where's your information, where's your story, or what happened with your strategic planning, or where's your SAC-COC information, we'll be able to take them to these pages and immediately show them and let them peruse on their own and find everything that they need to find. Bam, right there, passes, give me my A, right? So, or we hope anyway. So again, I just wanted to share this with you and give you an understanding of how we're using this and how you might want to consider using it as well in your departments and with your programs going forward. It's a great tool. I know Dr. Garrett had to leave. Oh, you still there? Okay. clapping. Thank you. Like a little applause. One of the things that Dr. Garrett's going to talk to you about is the CAPER team. We do have a team of faculty that we've been working with, and they also have a SharePoint page here. But I'm going to let Dr. Garrett give you a little bit of background on that team.
I mentioned CAPER team and the fact that we've assembled some people to serve on that team back, when did we do that? About 6 months ago, maybe? March, okay. And that was to address that principle about outcomes assessment, both program and general education outcomes. We're focusing more on the programs because general education outcomes aren't assessed in the 5-year. So our main purpose is to really focus in on the program level student outcomes. But Stephanie just did exactly what CAPER means. I just looked up what the definition of CAPER: to run and jump about in an energetic, happy way. So our CAPER team, are you energetic? Are you ready to jump about? Now there's another definition that I hope isn't the case. It's illegal, unusual, or entertaining activities. That's the one? There's even a worse one. It's slang defining some sort of shady activity, usually illegal or shenanigans. That's there. So I'm wondering if we shouldn't rename that before we tell Saks that we have a CAPER team. Ooh, they're not going to trust anything we do. Anyway, I really need to thank the team that's come together. They've met a couple times, and they're working very, very hard to ensure that we meet our 8.1 principle of accreditation. So I think that there's some recognition about to happen, and I'm just going to say I can't thank this team enough for helping me get some sleep at night over 8.1. So thank you.
Okay, let's get on this. Okay, so
What the acronym is for CAPER? I forgot to say that.
I don't know what it is. It's a Curriculum Assessment and Program Evaluation Review Team. It's a mouthful, but it's good work, let's put it that way. So when we were selecting personnel for the CAPER team, our focus was on the faculty. We know we needed faculty, we needed strong faculty to be involved, faculty members that we felt really contributed in a way that we could pull together a team that was going to work hard and do some really good things. So when we got to that portion where we had to decide which faculty were going to be on the team, we all got together and basically looked at all of our faculty, and we almost, in a weird way, kind of conducted our own draft. At least that's how I was thinking about it. Any sports fans? Football fans, right? It's football season coming up, right? I'm excited. I'm a huge fantasy football player, so I'm competitive and all that, and I'm all into it. So when we were looking at the faculty members, we basically, in a weird way, kind of held our own draft. We looked at their stats. We looked at their commitments. We looked at their achievements, their accomplishments. We looked at the areas that they represented, their capacities, what they brought to the table. There were several faculty members that we wanted to be on the CAPER team, but we were told we couldn't have them simply because they were overcommitted to other things. So that was not a good feeling, but at the same time, that's what happens in a sports draft as well. And so we looked at the members that were available to us, and we knew how many we could get, and we went after them and basically utilized the criteria to select them. And there were so many more of you that we really wanted, but we understand that when you have a committee with too many people, you really don't have a committee. And that a lot of other people that we'd like to have, you're overcommitted already as it is. And so we are excited and happy about the faculty that we have because we're already moving the needle on some things and getting some real work going, and we're excited about that. As we were picking these faculty, I kept thinking, man, wouldn't it be awesome if faculty, not just higher ed, but teachers in general got drafted the way sports players got drafted? How cool would that be if they got $1 million contracts, sponsorship by BMW and all that kind of stuff, And I was like, I wish somebody would do something on that. And then I discovered, my buddies Key and Peele actually did do something about that, right? And turned Sports Center into Teaching Center. So we are going to honor our Caper team members this morning, and while my team is going to get suited up, I want you to enjoy this little video here.
Teaching Center is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Can you hear that?
Hello, welcome to Teaching Center. I'm Boyd Maxwell with today's top stories from the exciting world of teaching. I'm Perry Schmidt. Well, now we know. The long-awaited announcement by star English teacher Ruby Ruth has sent teaching fans across the nation into a frenzy.
I've enjoyed my time in Ohio very much, but I'm pleased to announce that I'm taking my talents back to New York City. Thank you very much.
USS 431 has made Ruby an offer she couldn't refuse. $80 million guaranteed over 6 years. Another $40 million on test scores. This salary puts her right up there with Rockridge Elementary's Katie Hope and William Wu. All day back All right, let's take a look at yesterday's high school teacher draft from Radio City Music Hall, where Central Rapids High, recipient of the worst test scores last semester, made the first pick. That was no surprise to anyone.
For the first pick, Central Rapids High takes calculus teacher Mike Yost from Tulsa Teachers College.
Just like that. Mike Yost is an unbelievable story. His father living from paycheck to paycheck as a humble pro football player. Kid was so you know this. So there's no way around that. You know your mom.
Today's highlight of the day is brought to you by the 100% flat Angus beef thick burger on a fresh baked bun from Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Now it's time for the highlight of the day. Star history teacher Ashley Ferguson has been running up them test scores over at Vince Corpo High. Okay. Woo!
Confederate forces fired first. Can anyone tell me where this battle took place?
Now, look at this. She looks left, then right, looks past the students with their arms up in the air, spots Max near the back.
Max?
It was Fort Sumter.
That's right.
Oh, come on, see what she did there? She's bringing an introvert into the discussion, y'all. That's a Teacher of the Year play. By answering that question correctly, it will enhance his performance throughout the rest of the year, no doubt. Coming up after the break, Mayfield Prep trades French teacher Janine Lowe to Skyline High for a head librarian and 2 lunch ladies we named later. Let's scoop on the impending teacher strike that could cripple the season. Next up on Teaching Center.
Study courses meaning. I am velocity. I am power. A believer. I am the force that guides. I am the gateway to what is possible, the path to the future. I am the future.
The all-new 2015 6 Series is here. Meet the new teacher's pet.
All right, so in salute to that, which shouldn't be funny, it should be a reality. How cool would that be? We wanted to give our members of the Caper team their own draft. And so to help us do that, I've actually invited a ringer, Mr. Fred Chavez.
All right. How's it going, Stephanie? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Are we all awake today? Because it ain't looking like it. We're going to bring it up hard and fast.
Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up.
All right. First, let me get you ready. Let's get ready to grade some papers! All right, we have this great team, this Caper team, and anything with illegal activity is first on my list. we're going to bring out some great people that have been working probably 3 or 4 weeks on their profession, and we're going to tell them how happy we are. They're all here. So, let's bring on our first. Can you feel the excitement? I feel it. I'm tingling. Our first paper member, Scooter Prescott, coming out of Southwest Texas State University. Favorite color is purple. Her favorite number is all of them, go figure, or the number 5. Started here in 2002, has been teaching for 26 years, and her favorite subject is calculus. And here's a little known fact. Scooter once shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. That is amazing. Good job. Scooter, ladies and gentlemen. Next one. William Heath. Oh, here he comes. He goes by the handle of Mr. In Jail Without Bail. I want to see his prison tat. I hear it's a tramp stamp, but hey, no judgment. His favorite color is blue. His favorite number is 18. That's the number of cellmates he had. He's been in CTC since 2007, been teaching for 25 years, and he's grading my grammar as I speak. It was Mr. Heath who decided to slice the bread before we sold it. Right there, Mr. Heath. I'm very tingly again. Is it? That was kind of premature. Oh, there we go. Can we hear it for the absent-minded professor? I give you She goes by the absent-minded professor, but also boom boom. So read into that what you will. Her favorite color is red. Number is 3. Started at CTC in 2002. Been teaching for 17 years. Her favorite course is interviewing and communication skills. And her favorite song is Don't Speak. That's kind of weird. Okay. We are working our way through our list, and I am very, very giddy as a schoolgirl. Our next one needs no introduction, but I'm going to get it with the mind blaster, the master of disaster, Kirsten Brooks. Coming out of the University of Central Texas, her favorite color is blue. Her favorite number is 6. You left off 2 6s. Her start year at CTC was in 1991. Been teaching for 18 years, and her favorite course is Lifespan and Development, and she's developed into quite the administrator.
And I don't know if you noticed, but we got the school's mascots, and since we currently don't have an actual mascot for our school, we do have an eagle, so that's our eagle mascot. As you can see, the eagle is jamming and getting down.
Whoever can do that dance at the end of all of this will totally probably not get much, but it'll be funny. I'm just saying.
It's going to be funny.
I'm going to anticipate that. Oh my God! Here's a dark horse! I say good! From the University of Leavenworth, that's the prison, not the actual place. Her nickname is Drunk History, and that's it. That's awesome. It cannot be revealed. And her spirit animal is probably in Guantanamo Bay. Okay. Oh, good Lord. We saw this coming. We knew it would happen. Jackie Hare! The enforcer, ladies and gentlemen. She's out in prison. She is, her nickname is the Mind Molder. Boy, there's a joke there. I'm going to leave it alone. Her favorite colors are blue and or pink. Lucky 7 is her number. She started in 2003, 6 years of teaching, and her favorite course is Human Resource Management, or as we like to call it, paint drying. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Not really. Oh my God, can you believe it? It's the leaders and veterans of Austin. As we like to say, ask your students, or to his children, ask your mother. Favorite color is blue. Lucky number 7 is his number. Started in 2011, 8 years of teaching, and he likes all the courses. And by the way, Chester, you've got something on your nose. Just saying. No, just kidding. Give it up for Chester. Our next one needs no real introduction because she announces herself wherever she goes. Catherine Oster! Dr. Google, who's spirit animal, is a dragon. Her favorite color is green. Her favorite number is 3. That's the number of times she repeated 5th grade. She started CTC in 2004, has been teaching for 10 years, and her favorite course is Personal Computer Help Desk. Catherine Oster!
Okay, so no team recognition would be complete without the coaching staff, and so we wanted to make sure that you knew that in addition to having this caper team, we do have 2 co-chairs who, whether they know it or not, are also being honored here today. Against their will.
I didn't know this before.
He's
spoken.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, it's Jennifer Cameron from Jefferson University! Known as the host. That's actually a pet name given to her by her significant other. Don't ask why. Her favorite color is black. Her number is 5. She started in 2017, 17 years of teaching, and her favorite course is government, or how to get indicted in 3 easy lessons. Felicia Robertson! Ice is her handle. Her spirit animal is an owl. Who'd have thought that? I'm sorry. Her favorite color is purple. Favorite number is 8. Started in 2007. 5 years of teaching experience. And her favorite course was office management. And her second favorite course was how to sneak out of the office.
We also wanted to take a moment to recognize our general managers and support staff, because in addition to the crew that was acknowledged here today, we also have several administrators and staff members and some additional faculty who have contributed and given us some support. And so we just wanted to kind of highlight them a little bit, put their names up here, and let you know how much we appreciate your support and your help. Those of you who are not officially on the caper team, be alert and be aware, because we probably will be reaching out to you. There's a lot of talent and expertise at this college. We need to utilize and leverage that. Just the talent in this room alone is amazing, and it's an opportunity for us to work together and to do some great things together. And so we want to thank everybody who's been supporting the caper team as we move forward. I want to thank our amazing, awesome announcer, Greg.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
Thank you all. That was great. That was awesome. Okay, so I just had a few things that I wanted to mention before we take a break. And also, Ken Bass, is he here? After we had our Connecting the Dots yesterday, and we were talking about the 60 by 30 strategic plan, I had given you some statistics that I got from the 60 by 30 website. And Ken, you brought up a really good point, and really, I had wanted that to kind of be a discussion, but there weren't any questions, and I guess I moved on. Ken, you need a mic? You need a mic?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Use your teacher voice.
Well, the statistics that were presented were indicated that we needed to do better with our, was it 15?
Yeah, there were two different sources I looked at. One of them said we were the 15th largest economy. The other one that I didn't put in there said the 10th largest economy.
I think it was only 20% had a college education, if I remember right. So somehow, with 80% of Texans not having a college education, we managed to be the 15th largest economy in the world. That suggests we're doing a pretty good job at several levels, and that the people who...
Here, I'm bringing you a mic. He has some comments to make, and I said, let's have some discussion on this.
So I better drop it down a notch. So what it suggested to me was that there may be more to the story than those statistics suggested, that with 80% of the people not being college educated, they were still finding meaningful work and supporting a very large and thriving economy here in Texas. So maybe K through 12 is not doing such a bad job after all. It seems that the emphasis on having a large number of people getting a degree may not be as required as we think going forward, given where we are, unless there's an interest on the part of the state of Texas to move up to 14th or 13th or 11th or something like that. So I was just kind of questioning how the statistics that were presented supported the argument that we need many more people with degrees.
I'm just quoting the statistics as they were on the SACS 60 by 30 site, and that's what they listed as part of their rationale. So, but you're right, maybe we're doing better than we think, but that was their interpretation. And I think that your comment is interesting. Anybody want to comment on that? We have another mic here.
We also have the largest.
Oh, wait.
Moran has a mic.
We also have the largest number of uninsured, medically uninsured people in the country. So we're obviously, where they may be employed or it may be a large economy, I don't think that our lack of education or lack of degree is necessarily positive for the economy, because we have so many people working several jobs in order to make a living, and they're not allowed, and they don't get health insurance through their employer. So there is a gap there that we're not addressing, and education, college education may address that gap.
Okay. Renee? Thank you. Oh.
Can you hear Melissa? Is
Yeah,
this on?
Melissa, go ahead.
Can you hear me? No.
Oh, you have to wait a minute. Is it turned on?
Hello? It is, it's turned on. Battery's going out.
A couple years ago, I had the opportunity to visit the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and we got a nice helping of the 60 by 30. So my understanding, to address Ken's question specifically, is that the push is in preparation for what is to come. That by that time, we will be the underdogs in a global society. The push also is not that every person or that number would have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, so on and so forth, but they would have some sort of credentialing to include a certificate
That's
of
correct.
some kind. So hopefully that touches on some of what you were thinking.
And the other thing that I just wanted to point out is that at that website, when they're talking about jobs, they also are talking about the jobs that don't exist yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of jobs that will come into being that we don't even know about yet. In fact, I can't remember what all the jobs that were listed, but CNN just released the list of the top 20 jobs that they were the highest wage earners. They had the highest wage. And there were some things on that list that I didn't know what they were. And I thought to myself, I need to go look that up and find out what that is. I haven't done that yet, but there were some brand new things I had never heard of. Yes?
Well, one other thing that might be a consideration in that is also, just because you have people now, doesn't say how long you're gonna have them. As people get older, they decide to retire. A lot of companies I know will hire people early so that the experienced folks can get the new people up to speed before the older person retires. So some of it maybe they're pushing to not lose those skills in things like engineering and
Histology.
various specialties, trying to keep
Right?
trying to keep
Histology,
people going.
you're gonna have a lot of people retiring, and you've gotta get new people coming in, or at least that's what I've heard.
There is about a 17% vacancy rate in that field, and another 21% are expected to retire within the next 5 years.
Say that again.
There's currently about a 17 to 20% vacancy rate nationwide within the anatomic pathology field, and about 20 to 21% are expected to retire within the next 5 years. The number of graduates coming out, the number of certified individuals coming out isn't meeting adequate required numbers that's expected in the next 5 years.
Okay, and Daniel, I interrupted you. Did you finish?
That was it.
Okay. Anyone else want to make any comments? I mean, it's an interesting discussion, and I feel good about the fact that some people, okay, over here. You gonna be the runner? Okay. I feel good that we're thinking about it, that actually people came away yesterday and they had a lot of different ideas about it, and that's a good thing.
Many of y'all know me, I'm the guy who likes to complicate things. The issue is so much more complex. The considerations of taxes, tax revenue, what tax revenue goes to the state, what's in the interest of the state, local taxes, a bunch of stuff. It's good for the state of Texas to have a higher educated force because it essentially allows us to bribe higher corporations into the state, which in turn helps the economy. Also, when you go to the immigration numbers, the number of people without degrees largely takes colors in those low-level jobs. So there's a lot of sensitivities here. However, the more fundamental question for me is this. I got an education to teach because education is valuable in itself. And the more you hear the state talk, the more our value is only in whether or not we can produce members of the economy. I mean, that should take care of itself based on an educated population. I think the more fundamental question for us as educators is, are we simply pawns of the state to produce people with a given skill? Or does education provide something else of value that transcends whatever occupation or profession you choose to go into? The quintessential Jurassic Park quote, they were so interested in whether or not they could, they didn't stop wondering whether or not they should. I mean, at what point do we have an educated populace that disregards history, ethics, philosophy, foundational theories, questionings of greater purpose and foundations? These are things that traditional education has been able to provide. That doesn't necessarily transcend a certificate or degree, and everything we talk about now is certificate degree. We simply need to produce members of an economy, and I think where's that last line of defense in education of saying, no, education has a value in and of itself, and an educated populace produces educated members, which then will turn into a good economy, but it's not our job to measure the economy. And so we have to wrap our minds around the very levels of interest here that are at play. The political interest of the state, the taxable interest of the state as well, the individual business interest that the lobbyists go to Austin and they lobby very heavily in favor of their end, whatever that end may be. But you need a counterbalance from that end from other people fighting and saying, no, it's not all about that. And as I approach this argument, whether or not we can say it does or doesn't, there's a more fundamental question I think where we haven't answered, and I think, just to be frank, I don't think we've answered it as a college. I don't think we've answered it as a state. The more and more we kind of say, okay, state of Texas, tell us what you want, and we'll give you what you want. If you want more nurses, we'll give you more nurses. If you want more, engineers, we'll give you more engineers. But is there a point where say we fight for education, we fight for learning, we fight for the authenticity of our craft? And I don't know. That's a kind of a question that comes out of all of this that creates a more fundamental discussion.
So, Kirsten and me trying to help, we're going to try to move through the slides because we didn't think we were going to be doing this work, but we are. So,
and as usual, we want to give you an update about early college, high school, STEM, and the early college program. Okay, so early college, high school, everybody knows we started back in fall of 2015. It's a collaboration between KISD and CTC. The students are working on an interdisciplinary studies degree plan, and there are 2 locations. You're probably aware of that already. So freshmen and sophomores are located at Fort Hood, and then juniors and seniors are located here on Central Campus in Building 113, and for most part, the lower area of Building 103. Now, we also have some of the KISD staff here with us now. They're located in Building 150, where developmental studies and science was at one point or the other. As you'll probably already know, KISD is paying for the books, for any kind of equipment, anything that the students might need, and we just bill them at the very end. The selection process is all addressed through KISD. We're not involved in that. Students have to write an essay explaining why they want to be part of early college, high school, and are selected based on a raffle. Now, spring, if you were at spring graduation, I think everybody was there. It was very exciting because we had our first cohort of ECHS students graduate. We had 64 seniors participating in the graduation. Not all of them were able to complete the degree, but for most part they did, and some of them completed it during the summer. Now for spring 2020, we're looking at 238. So quite an increase. That's our goal. We're not losing any, right? They all will be here. How many of you have STEM, dual credit, ECHS students in your classroom? Okay, most of you. Okay, well, if you have not had any, chances are eventually you will get them in your classroom, because the goal is to mix them all with our other students. I don't want to call them regular students, but our other students. As far as enrollments, some of the numbers, well, if we're looking at about a week ago, this is where the numbers, however, they kind of change a little bit at a time. So we have an overall number of 1,140 students for ECHS, that's including both locations. We have 325 ninth graders, then 266 10, 11 grade was 311, and 238 here on campus for seniors. If you look at the enrollment, overall, 2,747 enrollments, so we're quite moving up in the correct direction, right? If we're looking at the curriculum, again, they're working on the interdisciplinary studies degree plan. There are a few little changes, a few little tweaks. The first thing is, during ninth grade previously, the students did not take any courses. The very first cohort took PE, but now we're switching to where they're taking EDUC 1100, which is through Laura Lampert's area of child development. 10th grade, they're taking their speech, they're taking their art courses, and then they come to the campus and they're taking the English, history, economics, and some electives. Now the electives that we have listed, that is another tweak. So there will be some other electives that they will be allowed to take,